Hello, my friends. Welcome to Breakfast with Sergio. In this episode, I'm here with Victoria Fuller, and it's going to be a really good show. We're going to talk about what it takes to put together a show with three-dimensional work and installation as well. So don't go anywhere. Well, hello, my friends. Welcome back to Breakfast with Sergio. In this episode, I'm super excited because it's not the typical show where we are sitting on my kitchen table. I'm here with none other than Chicago-based artist Victoria Fuller, and you had a beautiful exhibition at South Suburban College, which is titled...
Oh, Plants, Pollen, Sun, and Sci-Fi.
Awesome. And in this exhibition, what you have, which I thought it would be really great to bring here to our friends, is installation work. There's also three-dimensional objects. There's actually a piece that goes on the wall itself.
Yeah.
With a video behind on an
opening.
Right,
the video installation, yeah.
So there's a lot of parts, moving parts on a show like this. So before we talk about, the logistics of how you prepare for a show with so many moving parts and what does it take to do that, first tell us a little bit about what the show is, is all about.
Okay. So the show has to do with objects in nature, but objects that whose shape and form I find interesting. And I work with both found objects and objects, the theme of nature. And but I also am influenced by pop art and surrealism and science fiction. And so there are a few pieces in here that I refer to as sci-fi. Yeah. Because of the peanut, I have these like human heads inside of giant peanut shells.
Which is very cool.
Yeah, thank you. And then I have an installation called Many Suns, and it's different representations of the sun. And there's a NASA video of the sun, and so I have two things of pollen here, two pollen sculptures, and a giant peanut plant over here. A giant peanut plant, and so that's kind of why I brought it all together. It's like things that maybe didn't seem like they go together, but so that's why I titled it Plants, Pollen, Sun, and Sci-Fi, because then I can put them all together.
And it actually does go together. So on the other side of the room, you have the sun. Without the sun, there will be no life.
That's right, exactly.
So it kind of all connects one side of the room to the other.
It does, yes.
And so originally, when you think about a peanut being such a small, what do we consider? Is it a plant?
The peanuts seed, are actually grown underground. So it actually comes off of the roots. Yeah. So it's like a root kind of plant.
So tell us about, for example, the construction of a piece like that, which let's say we have this piece right here in the back of us, beautiful piece. So what is it made of? What does it take to create one of these pieces?
The peanuts are flax fiber, and so first I made a giant oil clay peanut, and then I did a silicone mold of it. Okay. And then I did flax fiber mixed with water and wheat paste. Okay. So it's kind of like a paper product, actually. Nice. Okay. So then I kind of made a cast paper. They're cast paper, basically, but then I baked them in the oven. Because silicone molds can go up to 350 degrees. So I baked them in the oven, and then they hardened and they dried. And so I made those peanut shells. And then I had to make the plant stem and the roots and the leaves. And so that's made with wire, and it's made with foam and gauze, which I wrapped around. And and then I used acrylic medium to make everything smooth, like to smooth over the gauze. And then I made the leaves out of cotton, like green cotton cloth with wire. And so that's how I did it.
And that's nice because as you go through the show, you have then on the other side of the room, the actual peanuts, a pile of peanuts. So as you walk in, what I love about the show is as you walk into the gallery, it almost feels like we are the size of an insect, as a viewer, and we are in close proximity.
Yeah, exactly.
To all this now, and some of the installation that you have on the other side, something that comes as a surprise is like when somebody gets closer, you actually see a peanut that's open. And there's actually a face.
Yeah, there's a human head.
It's a human head. So tell us a little bit about the idea for that.
It's called Going Nuts, and there are, the heads that are in the nuts are called nut heads. And it's kind of like science fiction, but it also refers to how humans are genetically modifying organisms, and they're actually putting human cells into other organisms, maybe where they shouldn't go.
So,
yeah.
It's just,
so that's the science fiction.
That's the sci-fi part of it, right? So, Victoria, you and I, we have worked for a long time together in shows that I have curated. You've been part of, so it's been great to see you over time. Coming up with all these great ideas and wonderful projects. So, for our friends who are watching here right now, tell us a little bit about what does it take to put an exhibition like this, in which there are so many parts to it. From planning to the actual transportation of all the pieces. Is it just you? Does it take more people? Tell us how does that work?
So I had assistants help me with to make some of these things because I had a deadline, and I couldn't do it all quick enough by myself. So I had to hire assistants to help with making some of the sculptures, and also I had to rent a U-Haul, and then I had to get help to bring all the work in. I actually had to hire somebody to help me do the animation on the NASA video of the sun. I added more flares to it so that more interesting things are happening in a short period of time. And let's see what else. Oh, so I designed the show myself. So there was not a curator for this show. I curated it, and I decided, I got a plan of where, like
the layout of
the space. And the walls, like the size and everything. And then I actually did a digital drawing that showed me where each piece was going to go. So then I designed how everything was going to go in the space.
Do you use like a three-dimensional, like a 3D?
I'm not so good at 3D, so I actually did it in Photoshop.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so I just did one where I was looking down, and then one where I had the walls, and I had what pieces were going to go on the walls. So.
Yeah. Well, that's wonderful. And that's, as you come in here, then you're very prepared. You know where things are going to go. You know the dimensions of the spacing of how each piece will take care of it. Yeah. And now, for example, also, let's talk about the logistics of transportation and things like this. For example, a piece like this, some is quite fragile.
Oh, yeah. So I wrapped, well, first of all, you can move, like these things actually move. So you can bend it.
Oh, wow, okay.
So it's kind of pliable. So then I bent them all up and I taped the leaves, and then I wrapped the peanuts with like construction paper, and I kind of wrapped things that I could to kind of keep it safe. And then I have packing blankets in the U-Haul.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Victoria. I think you have given us a kind of a great behind the scenes of how a show like this is put together, and how it all works at the end, so that people can come and enjoy it. And we look forward to more exhibitions from you as well in the future. And thanks so much for being here in Breakfast with Sergio. Thanks so much for watching, my friends. Please share it with your friends as well, and then we'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.
Bye.